because of the cheapness of the tariff we pay on power. A lot of people will come back from work. They want to have dinner or they want to play with their colleagues down the road. They'll switch on the AC for the room to be cooling before they come back. Yes, some people will be going to work in the morning. A freezer has been left on for days. They will still leave it on when all the items in the freezer are already frozen. And 5, 6, 8 hours of their absence will not make it to defreeze. They will still leave it. It will consume power. Respect to the Honorable Minister, some of these arguments are rather pedestrian. I mean, if I put on my deep freezer, if I put on my AC, won't I pay? My meter is reading. So that's my business. So, but when you give the impression that, oh, it's a crime to put on your AC or your deep freezer, I don't understand where this argument is coming from. In this country, up to the 70s, 80s, if there was going to be power outage for 5-10 minutes, there would be an announcement in this country. So when are we giving the impression that we have just descended from the moon? If a group of people mismanage the country to the extent that we are generating only 4,000 megawatts for 220 million people, and we are blaming the consumers, and the minister is saying, oh, we have only 12 million people out of 220 million.
Believes that decision to increase the tariff is in bad faith. He's the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi. Take a listen to him.
You do a hike for those areas where those of us who can easily afford it are living. That can go. And then you use the resources to subsidize for those who can afford it. You know, because we need to do a lot of improvement in power area. It's been taking too long, where we need to generate and distribute more power. But we have to put into consideration, and the majority of Nigerians are suffering.
Welcome to my channel. What I'm about to discuss, I'm going to show you a lot of video talking about the electricity high, and a lot of corruption has been going on in Nigeria, and especially the Buhari regime. And I have been saying it even before he left, and Tinubu evicted that corruption and is continuing it. And I remember 2022 they said that they have ended electricity tariff, and now and I did a video then and all of that, and they said is I can all of that. You know, if you watch down my channel you will see it. Now there is an increase in band A. I want to tell you, after that 2022, over 4 trillion has been used for subsidy, and this is appalling. Can I also shock you? We are buying fuel for between 600 and 700 naira. They are still doing subsidy. So I am going to be playing a lot of video for you. Please watch it, share it, and see the corruption that is going on. Nigeria is so corrupt. We have the mind, we have people that can do it. Okay, I'm going to be playing a lot of video from you, from some Nigerians that are providing powers to other people in other country, but in Nigeria we can't boast of electricity. It is archaic. It is bad. And we have this mind, we have these people. in South Africa, a UK company is building a battery that, because South Africa has the highest megawatts in the continent of Africa, and a UK base is currently building a battery in case the grid collapse. That battery can run the electricity until the grid is restored, and that UK company, the brain behind it, the owner is Nigeria. But it's based in UK. And let's just watch this video and we'll come back to talk about it. A lot of things is going on, and we Nigerians, we need to wake up. Really, we need to wake up. Really, we need to wake up. Because if we don't wake up, a lot of things will go wrong in this country, Nigeria, our own country, and this needs to stop. Okay, let's watch this video.
With profound respect, I have studied the provisions of the Electricity Act of 2023. I cannot identify the role of the Minister of Power with respect to the increase in electricity tariff. That is the exclusive responsibility of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. And going by the law, the increase cannot be justified under the Electricity Act. Specifically, Section 116 of the Act provides that a licensee shall be allowed, a licensee that operates efficiently shall be allowed to recover full cost of his business activities. There's nobody who can say today that the discos are operating efficiently in Nigeria. To that extent, the provision of the law has not been met. Secondly, in order to increase electricity tariff in the country, the proposal from the licensees, the discos, shall be published in the Federal Government Gazette and newspapers that have wide coverage in the country for the purpose of alerting consumers and other stakeholders in case they want to raise objections. And they have 30 days to do that. Those objections will be considered at a public hearing by the commission. It is when there is an agreement substantially that the proposal will be allowed to increase electricity tariff. If it is not accepted, it is not going to be allowed. So the point I'm making, therefore, is that the federal government or the Minister of Labor and the Commission did not operate under the law. Secondly, by November last year, the Minister of Power, Mr. Adelabu, did say that the government, that it was politically inexpedient to increase electricity tariff. They're not talking of subsidy, electricity tariff, because Nigerians were undergoing some hardship. And today, the hardship has become harrowing for the majority of our people, whether you call them people in Band A or Band C or whatever. Nigerians are undergoing excruciating economic difficulties. Now, coming to the reasons adduced by the minister, with profound respect. In 2021, the federal government announced that by 2022, subsidy
in the electricity sector will be ended. And by March 2022, the then Minister of Finance and National Planning, Madam Zainab Ahmed, announced publicly, show you can Google, you will find it, that the federal government had secretly ended subsidy, electricity subsidy, but were unable to do so in respect of fuel subsidy because of the forthcoming elections. So if the federal government announced, the most competent person, the Minister of Finance at the material time, in 2022, that we had ended electricity subsidy, where, for goodness sake, as the Minister of Power got the figure of 3 trillion in 2024, the same minister did say last year, I mean in January this year, I think January 15 to be specific, when the government was under pressure from the IMF, oh, we are spending 700 billion. We spent 700 billion last year on electricity subsidy. We cannot afford same. But by last Friday, the figure had metamorphosed to 3 trillion. Meanwhile, last month, on March 6th, I think, the IMF team came to Nigeria to mount further pressure on the government. And at that time, the IMF claimed that the government was spending 2.3 trillion on electricity and fuel subsidy. Now, when you look at these figures, vis-a-vis the commitment or the announcement of the government in 2022 that electricity subsidy has ended, the federal government will have to set up a public inquiry to address these conflicting figures from the IMF, the Minister of Power, and the Commission, so that we know what we are talking about. But as far as the federal government of Nigeria is concerned, electricity subsidy ended in 2022. What they are now doing, I mean what the government is doing now, is to make Nigerians pay for the inefficiency, for the profligacy, and the incompetence of those who are managing the electricity sector in Nigeria. And so we have a history. We are coming from, they're talking of a journey. Where did we get to this mess? By 2012, the electricity sector, I think in 2007, the late President Yaradua, when there was this controversy that $16 billion had been wasted on generating darkness by the previous regime, the Olusegun Obasanjo administration, President Yaradua was under pressure, tremendous pressure, to privatize the industry. And he said, no, we are going to see what Nigerians can do to manage, and they were called, not NEPA then, I think it had become PHCN. And by 2012, that body had become self-sufficient, that was no longer being subsidized, it was no longer getting any subvention from the government. But again, as soon as President Yaradua passed on, this renewed prayer came from local capitalists and the IMF and World Bank. Thou shalt privatize. Of course, in 2013, some form of privatization was alleged to have taken place. We had 18 electricity companies. As a minister in that regime then, the then Minister of National Planning, Dr. Shamsuddin Usman, later admitted, we sold the electricity companies to our friends. Those friends did not bring any money to the table. They didn't have the fund. They didn't have the competence or the managerial capacity to man or to run those discos efficiently. That is what we are paying for today. So the government must frankly speaking, apologize to Nigerians that we have mismanaged the electricity sector. And then we go back to the drawing table and begin to find out how we are going to run our country in the interest of our people and not in the interest of some dubious agencies abroad. And I'm talking of the IMF and World Bank. And I have challenged those two bodies that between 2021 and 2023, the IMF in its report claimed that Western governments spent about $7 trillion on biofuel. And again, you can find out this. Because of the war in Ukraine, there is no country in Europe that does not subsidize energy. Otherwise, people will freeze to death.
Okay, we are back. I just told you you need to share this video. We need to start exposing this wickedness. A lot of wickedness is going wrong. I tell you, mark my word, if revolution happens in Nigeria, if we have a good leader that is not corrupt, that is ready to correct this anomaly, this corruption, that is ready to fight these people, that is ready to fight the Kaaba, I tell you, Buhari, Tinubu will go to jail. Yeah, they will go to jail for all this subsidy removal. You will see. You will see. But that day is coming. That day is coming. And whosoever also is their accompany, and that day is coming. I am just trying to help to build a happy Nigeria. And I also want to tell President Tinubu that you can't make a difference. It's not too late. You just started. Very soon you'll be 1 year. In next month you'll be 1 year. Don't celebrate. Nigeria is in chaos. Food is on top of the roof. People cannot eat. People that are telling you that you have turned around the economy, it's a lie. Nothing is working yet. You have a lot to do. So I am going to do the next video to review your 1 year. President Tinubu, but it's not too late to make a U-turn, and we believe that Nigeria can be changed, can be transformed by anybody, and you are in to make that history. Let's